The spring sun was warm, the kind that makes you want to linger outside, but when I noticed Bella was gone, a chill hit me like a freight train. Bella was my daughter Sophie's Sayre VYC puppy, a golden retriever we brought home 4 months ago to our new place in Greenhaven Heights, a ritzy neighborhood we chose for its top-notch schools and ramps that made life easier for Sophie's wheelchair. I tore through our fenced backyard, calling Bella's name until my throat burned. Nothing. No wagging tail, no playful bark. My heart sank as I scanned every bush, every corner of our property. Sophie, my 12-year-old, will be back from therapy soon, and the thought of telling her that her best friend had vanished twisted my gut. Sophie's got cerebral palsy, which messes with her movement and speech. Worse, she's been wrestling with depression since her dad passed 2 years ago. Bella wasn't just a pet, she was a lifeline, a trained therapy dog who'd yanked Sophie out of a darkness that therapy and meds couldn't touch. That puppy's gentle nudges and soulful eyes had done what I couldn't, bringing my girl back to life. So, as I jogged down the street, shouting for Bella, panic clawed at me. Neighbors were out, mowing lawns or chatting, but no one had seen a golden retriever puppy running loose. Time was slipping away, and I dreaded facing Sophie with empty hands. I was circling the community park, half crazed, when my phone buzzed. It was Nathan Lee, our neighbor a few houses down. "Claire," he said, his voice tight, like he was holding back something awful. "You need to get over here. It's about Bella." My stomach dropped. "Is she hurt?" I asked, already MOVYing. "Just come, and maybe don't bring Sophie." 20 minutes later, I sat in Nathan's home office, staring at his computer screen, my world crumbling. Security footage clear as day showed Margaret Hensley, our HOA president and the face of Hensley Cosmetics, sneaking into my backyard through the side gate at 2:17 p.m., right after I'd left to pick up Sophie. Nathan, a cybersecurity guy, had installed cameras after someone trashed his mailbox. Lucky for me, they caught my yard too. In the VY Deo, Margaret glanced around, sneaky as a thief, before clipping a leash on Bella, who wagged her tail like she trusted her. My breath caught as Margaret led Bella across the street to the community pool, closed Mondays for cleaning. The footage switched to another camera, and what I saw next burned into my brain. Margaret unlocked the pool gate with her master key, looked around, then yanked off Bella's collar. She held that squirming puppy underwater in the deep end, her face cold, deliberate. Bella fought, her little legs thrashing, until she went still. I clapped a hand over my mouth, a sob choking me. "I'm so sorry, Claire," Nathan whispered. "I only checked the footage after you started looking for her." My voice came out like it belonged to someone else. "Call the police. Now." As Nathan dialed, I sat there, numb, my mind splitting between grief and a sharp, icy rage. Margaret Hensley had murdered my daughter's Sayre VYC dog, and she had no clue who she was dealing with. I'm Claire Harper, one of the top animal rights lawyers in the country. My work with the Animal Freedom Network has put abusers behind bars and shut down shady corporations. Just last year, I won a case against Veriglow Cosmetics, exposing their secret animal testing despite their cruelty-free lies. It made headlines, set new laws, and apparently made me enemies I didn't know I had. Telling Sophie was the hardest thing I've ever done. I held her as she sobbed, her words slurred, but her pain razor-sharp. Why would someone hurt Bella? She never did anything wrong. I couldn't tell her the truth, not yet that our HOA president had drowned her dog out of spite, targeting her disability accommodations. Instead, I hugged her tight and whispered, "I'll make sure they pay, sweetheart. I promise." The trouble with Margaret started the day we moved in. Despite my paperwork VYing Bella was a legit Sayre VYC dog, Margaret nitpicked everything. Bella's barks disturbed the peace. The ramp for Sophie's wheelchair VY OLAT aesthetic rules. The adaptive swing in our yard was an eyesore. I shut down every complaint with ADA laws and housing regulations, my lawyer brain on autopilot. But each response seemed to make Margaret hate me more. Nathan later showed me footage from an HOA meeting I'd missed where Margaret ranted, "That Harper woman's the lawyer who tanked Veriglow. Jobs lost, businesses hurt, trouble." It clicked. Hensley Cosmetics was tied to Veriglow, and Margaret's husband, Richard, was on their board. This wasn't about HOA rules. It was revenge. Police Chief Tom Carver came himself, his face grim as he watched the footage. "This is airtight," he said. "Trespassing, animal cruelty, and since Bella was a Sarah VYC dog, maybe disability interference charges." I nodded, already mentally drafting legal filings. "I want every charge possible, Chief. And I'm filing a CIVYL suit too." Officers raided Margaret's house that night, finding Bella's collar in her garage and wet shoe prints matching the VY Deo. Margaret's excuse? "That dog was loose, ruining my roses. If it drowned, that's not my fault." The lie was laughable, but it didn't stop her allies from circling the wagons. Greenhaven split fast. Some neighbors were horrified. Others doubted a community leader could do such a thing. A few, tied to Hensley Cosmetics or Margaret's social clout, backed her hard. Dr. Paul Carter, the HOA VYC president and a local vet, dropped by with a stuffed golden retriever for Sophie and a note of condolence. "Most of the board didn't know Margaret had it out for you," he said. "She's been a bully for years, but this? It's over the line." He told me an emergency HOA meeting was set for the next night. "You want to be there." The next day, Richard Hensley called, asking to meet at a coffee shop 10 miles away. He looked wrecked, his suit wrinkled, his eyes hollow. "What Margaret did is unforgivable," he started. "She's had episodes before. Never this bad, but animals have gone missing around her." My jaw tightened. "You're saying she's a serial animal abuser, and you covered it up?" He flinched. "I'm saying she needs help, not jail. Name a price: therapy for Sophie, a new dog, anything." I leaned in, voice low. "This isn't about money, Richard. Your wife killed my daughter's lifeline to hurt me for my work. I want justice, not a bribe." As I walked out, he shouted, "This'll ruin us." I turned back. "You should have thought of that before you enabled a monster." The HOA meeting was a circus, the community center packed with neighbors spilling into the halls. Paul had a mediator to keep things CIVYL, but the air crackled with tension. Nathan played the footage, and gasps filled the room as Margaret drowned Bella. Her lawyer, some hotshot named Victor Slade, tried to dismiss it as inadmissible, but Paul shut him down. "This isn't a courtroom, Victor. It's about our community's values." When I spoke, I kept it steady like I was in court. 4 months ago, Sophie was barely talking. Losing her dad, fighting cerebral palsy, she was drowning in depression. Bella changed that. She gave Sophie a reason to smile, to move, to live. Yesterday, I told my 12-year-old that someone murdered her best friend because Margaret Hensley wanted revenge for a case I won against her family's company. The room buzzed as the Veriglow connection hit home. Then an old woman, Evelyn Brooks, stood, trembling with her walker. 10 years ago, my cat Tinker vanished. I found her collar in Margaret's shed. She threatened me when I asked about it. Another neighbor mentioned a missing rabbit, then a poison bird feeder. The stories poured out, years of suspicion now backed by undeniable proof. When Paul called for a vote to oust Margaret, it was a landslide, 27-3. She sat there, stone-faced, whispering to her lawyer as her reign crumbled. The aftermath was surreal. Neighbors rallied around us, offering meals, therapy contacts, and support I hadn't expected from a place that once felt so cold. Paul proposed a Bella Memorial Fund to train Sarah VYC dogs for kids with disabilities, asking for my legal help to set it up. I agreed, touched, but focused on the fight ahead. The criminal case moved fast. Margaret pleaded guilty to lesser charges, getting therapy, a ban on animal contact, and community Sarah VYC, plus a hefty payout to a trust for Sophie's care. My CIVYL suit against her and Hensley Cosmetics exposed their ongoing animal testing, sparking a boycott that forced Richard off the board and the company to swear off cruelty for good. Sophie struggled, retreating in a silence like she had after her dad died. We built a small memorial for Bella in our yard, planting daisies around stone. Slowly, with a therapist's help, she started to heal. 6 months later, we VY sited Paul's sister's training facility. I wasn't sure Sophie was ready for another dog, but a golden retriever puppy named Daisy bolted to her wheelchair, paws up, eyes bright. Sophie's face lit up, a real smile, the first in months. "Can she be mine?" she asked, voice soft but hopeful. I nodded, tears stinging. "We'll make it happen, kiddo." Greenhaven changed too. Paul, now HOA president, rolled out disability-friendly rules and a zero-tolerance stance on harassment. The Bella Fund raised enough to train 5 SARE VYC dogs, with neighbors volunteering at the center. Margaret and Richard sold their house and slunk away, their reputation in tatters. A new family moved in, with twin boys who clicked with Sophie and adored Daisy. A year later, we held an event for the Bella Fund's first dog placements. Watching Sophie teach a kid how to command Daisy, her confidence back, I felt Bella's shadow in every step we'd taken. That night, as I tucked Sophie in with Daisy at her feet, she asked, "Mom, can people like Margaret really change?" I paused, choosing my words. Some can if they face what they've done and get help. But it's okay to be mad, and it's brave to let go when you're ready. She nodded, petting Daisy. "I want to forgive her someday. Maybe that'd make Bella happy." I kissed her forehead, throat tight. "Bella would be so proud of you, just like me." This story isn't just about loss, it's about fighting back, about a community waking up, about a girl finding light in the dark. But what do you think? Should Margaret have gotten jail time instead of therapy? Can someone like her ever change, or is she just a lost cause? Should companies like Hensley Cosmetics face harsher penalties for hiding animal testing? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if you're team justice, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you talking.